Let's get right into this. The best sports father and son duos starting us off right now, drafting this. I'm going with the Manning family. Eli and Peyton Manning, his father, Archie Manning. But look, both of his sons both won Super Bowls. His father was considered, or their father, I should say, was considered one of the best quarterbacks in his era. This family is just absolutely made for football. Their third brother, actually, of Eli and Peyton, Cooper Manning, was actually supposed to be the best out of the three, but his career ended due to health issues, unfortunately. But he does have a son, Arch Manning, who's at Texas right now as the quarterback, and he's supposed to be the next big guy. I mean, this family is just filled with football quarterbacks. I feel like it's the number one go-to pick for something like this.
Yeah, I mean, look, 20-time Pro Bowlers combined, 4 MVPs, one Hall of Fame right now. Eli will go, 4 Super Bowl winning champs. And Archie gets a lot of slack because his career record absolutely blows. But he was on the worst football teams.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking like the worst football teams in his career. So, I think it's a good pick. Like, you've left me in a bad spot.
Yeah, great pick. And yeah, you're exactly right, Dean. Archie Manning was the truth back then. And, at the time, and, there was that documentary about the Mannings and everything. You saw a lot of the old footage. He was running around and, doing all this crazy stuff, making people miss and extending plays. The team he played for in the NFL was so bad, the Saints, their nickname was the Aints because they ain't winning. It was absolutely terrible, the team he played on. Put him on a good team, completely different pro story there. All right, who you got, Dino?
This one is so tough, dude. Like, I honestly thought he was going to go with this one. So, I thought this was the clear-cut one, but the more I'm looking at this, there's one that's just, sticking out in my mind, and, I don't want to pass on it. But the one that I thought was 1-1, I really do think it's the 1-1.
Ooh.
I'm curious.
But
then you got to take it.
I'm not going to. I'm going to take Gordy and Mark Howe. And the reason why I'm taking it is because they had combined 2592 career points, both in the Hall of Fame, 4-time Cup-winning champion, 2-time WHA champion, which was the World Hockey Association at the time, and a 24-time All-Star combined. Right? So Gordy is probably one of the best hockey players of all time, if not the best. Obviously, you have Gretzky, Ovechkin will get his way up there, but and like I said, I think I passed on the 1-1, but I'm a hockey guy.
Fair enough.
All right, so I like the pick. That's solid, and you're right, Dino, too. Gordy's one of the best hockey players of all time, so you can't go wrong there. I'm going to go with, father-son in baseball. Well, you're typically thinking Griffey is number one, but I think I'm going to go with my, determining factor here was both players were really, really good. Bobby and Barry Bonds. Obviously, Barry has the steroid issue, but he's the home run king, one of the best pure hitters of all time. I didn't realize, whenever I started digging into this a little bit more, how good of a ball player Bobby Bonds was, though. Career 296 hitter, so a shade under 300. I didn't know this about him. He was the first baseball player to ever go 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases, and he's in the 300-300 club. Home runs and stolen bases. You put that on top of Barry Bonds' career, I think this is a home run for me. No pun intended.
Wow, I did not know that.
It's a good pick. I mean, it's a good pick. I'm actually still shocked I'm going to land the Griffies because I know you're not going baseball back to back.
Yep, I had to pick there because I didn't want to go back to back right there. I think I can get them coming back on the 3. So I'm going to take a bite out of Dino's here. Go all hockey.
Yeah.
Bobby and Brett Hall, the Halls. 2 Hall of Fame careers right there. Brett Hall obviously being the more recent one that I'm familiar with, but you want to talk about a Mount Rushmore of father-son hockey. I mean, those two names or those two families we just named are definitely on it.
Yeah, I mean, look, combined 2,500 points, 3 Stanley Cups, both in the Hall of Fame. I think whenever you get both guys in the Hall of Fame, I don't know how you pass on something like that. Winning the Stanley Cup is really difficult. So the fact that I think they both did it. I know Brett did it twice. I think Bobby did it once.
Once,
if I'm
yeah,
not mistaken.
And Bobby had, I mean, doing the research on this, Bobby had 610 goals in his NHL career. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, it's a great pick. So, I mean, with that flying off the board, then I'm going to be stuck with taking the Griffies. Right, combined 4,900 hits, 782 home runs, both of them combined 290 average, a Hall of Fame, one MVP, one All-Star Game MVP, 2-time World Series, and 16-time All-Stars. You know, like, it's not – I could have gone a different direction, but I'm going to go with Griffey. And this one is, like, swayed a little bit because Ken Griffey Sr. was a solid baseball player. Right?
And, dude, he played almost 20 years to make that happen, too, to play with his son.
Yeah, so – he was a solid baseball player. He wasn't a great baseball player. He was a solid baseball player. Junior, we've gone over sexiest swings. He's probably one of the best pure hitting lefties in the game, if not the best pure hitter of all time. So I think Ken Griffey Jr. kind of weighs a little bit more in this conversation. Yeah. But, I'm going to go with the Griffies.
Love it.
Completely agree with you there. I feel like every father and son's ultimate dream is to get to play together in a professional sport. You see LeBron trying to do it right now a little bit. It's definitely a rarity, but definitely some sort of like ultimate dream I think father and sons that are in sports have. Griffey Sr. and Griffey Jr., they played 2 years with the Mariners together, and then Sr. ended up retiring. He was on his way out while Jr. obviously started beginning his Hall of Fame career. I'm not going to lie, both of your guys' lists are pretty good so far. This is the one thing that kind of sucks about having the first pick is that you don't get to have a pick for 5 picks. So I kind of don't want this first pick anymore because it's kind of rough being up here. But
I know who you're taking.
I feel like you don't, but I will say I kind of, this was like scripted just for me. I'm going to take something that I feel like is underrated and nobody's really thinking of.
You're taking Dale Earnhardt.
I am. I'm taking Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Dale Earnhardt Jr. No. 2 of the greatest race car drivers. When you think of NASCAR, you think of the Earnhardts or you think of Ricky Bobby.
Throw up the threes, baby.
First, you're last. You know what I'm talking about? That phrase, trademark, not to use the position of Ricky Bobby.
That's right, Ricky.
Little shake and bake.
Dude, throw up the threes, man.
First you shake it, then you bake it.
Love it. I'm kind of pissed at it. I was hoping that would come down. I didn't want to take that as my 2. I was hoping I'd snag that at the 3. Nice pick, brother.
Dino knows me too well, man. Jeez.
He does. He called that shit.
I know who you're taking here, too.
Wow, actually, I'm gonna be honest. I really don't know who I'm taking here. I kind of have like my chart here is kind of just like I could take any of these 3, and like I wouldn't mind. But with that being said, I'm going to not go with baseball just because I feel like I'm definitely a baseball guy. I'm not going to take the Guerreros. I'm not going to go that route.
Or the Fielders.
I'm going to take... Oh, like, wow, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Wow, Prince Field. Yeah, the Fielders. But no, I'm going to take the Mahomeses just because Pat Mahomes, his father played 11 years in the MLB, and I think that has something to say. But the reason I'm taking this a little bit more is because his son is the face of the NFL, one of the best players, if not the best player in the league, and he's still young and accomplished so much already.
Yeah, he's already getting thrown out there as, he is the best quarterback of his time right now, but he's already getting thrown in there with the all-time greats, so I could see that.
Dude, but his dad had like a 5.74.
Yeah, his dad. That's my only beef with it. Yep.
Yeah, I did say that I give him props for making it there, and he played 11 years, so I think that has something to be said.
And which I'm 90% sure he was a reliever, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus, he pitched for the Yankees too, didn't he?
A 5.74 coming out of the pen? My lord.
Hey, man, he made it.
Yeah, no, I tipped that. Like, I didn't. So, you know what I mean? Okay. Dude, I'm telling you, we could go 4. 100% we can go 4 because who I'm gonna take is on none of your lists. Therefore, I guarantee you, because I told you I was gonna break a rule, so I'm gonna stick to it. I'm not doing father son. I'm doing father daughter. I'm going Muhammad and Layla Ali.
Wow.
You rule breaker.
A combined record of 80-5 with 56 knockouts. I mean, come on. I have the greatest boxer of all time, and I have the best female boxer of all time.
Yeah, on some rules that you broke to make that happen. That makes no sense.
Dude, I'm sorry, but like,
all right, well, I'm gonna throw in freaking Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan because they were movie brothers.
Well,
sorry, bro, I got the best athlete
Space
and the best
Jam.
cartoon athlete of all time, dog.
Okay, but like maybe you could have gone Bugs and Lola. You know what I mean? Like a family. Like Lola. Lola Bunny was a smoke show. 2 is she was nasty at basketball. So like, you know what I mean? I just look, if we did father daughters, we wouldn't have enough, right? So this was the time to do this. I have to do it now because there's probably not going to be a category where like you've seen a father and a daughter dominate. Rest in peace, obviously Kobe. Like, you know, she probably could have, but yeah. And Layla was 24-0 with 21 knockouts.
I didn't realize she was undefeated. I knew she was dominant, but I didn't realize undefeated. That's so dumb.
You know, if we go for a fourth one, I'll break some. I'm not going to break some rules, but I'll do a Dino thing and do an investment.
We're breaking rules.
Do an investment one.
We go Mount Rushmore. I'll go Mount Rushmore. Don't tempt me.
Far you go, Mount Rushmore?
I'll go Mount Rushmore because I'm getting my back-to-backs right here.
All right, here we go.
All right, interesting take for you there, Dino. Number 3, you really knocked it out of the ring.
Got him.
All right, I'm going to go with the silkiest, not the prettiest, the silkiest jumper in NBA history. Not as pretty of a shot as Reggie, but I'm going to go Dell and Steph Curry here. Rounding out some...
Whoa. Hold on. Don't forget Seth.
You're right.
Seth can play a little bit.
You're right. Yep. I totally forget. You know, in my notes, I had Seth on there too, but I totally forgot to jot him down on there. But you're right, Dino. Surprisingly, a decent NBA player. Like watching him in college and at Duke, thought he was all right. Definitely not as good as his brother was. Shocked with how good of an NBA player he turned out to be right there.
But isn't it amazing, right? One goes to Davidson.
Yep.
It's a low-level mid-major. The dude has, 5 rings, and he's the best pure shooter, if not changed the game of the NBA. The other one went to Duke, which is the blue blood of all blue bloods, and is an average role player. It's amazing.
All right. For the fourth and final, can't go baseball again.
Say less. I know, and I know what Jedi is going to pick too. I'm calling it right now. I know what he's picking. He's taking Matt and Jackson Holiday. I know it. Yeah, dude, you're so obvious, bro.
You know, it's kind of terrifying how well Dino knows me. Houdini has known me like since I was 13. So
yeah, I mean, dude, it's
he
obvious.
knows me too well.
All right, to round out number 4, we're going into the football world. Give me Howie Long with sons Chris and Kyle. You know, to have one father-son duo make it in the NFL, to let alone have 2, just like the Mannings too. It's pretty wild to have 2 sons play. Chris and Kyle, one was a DN, one was an O lineman, both pretty dominant at certain times of their career, not over their entire career, but 3 insanely good football players there.
Yeah, I mean it's a great pick. I don't like Howie Long. I never
Why?
have.
Because on Fox?
Yeah, I just don't like some guys like Joe Buck, right? Love his play-by-play. The second he starts talking about something else, I'm like, oh my lord. Yeah. So I just don't like Howie Long. All right, so I'm walking away with the Vlads or the Boones.
I'm not going to say anything yet. I'd like to hear your answer.
Look, the Boones combined were 8-time All-Stars, a World Series champ, 11 Gold Gloves, and 2 Silver Sluggers.
Yeah, but there's 3 of them.
And there's 3, right?
But there's 3.
I know. I get that there's 3.
They don't have any MVPs, though.
They don't have any MVPs, but Brett Boone played a remarkable second base. Aaron Boone hit the greatest home run in my lifetime. And their father I know nothing about.
He played in the MLB. That's what we know.
So, I think he was the one that won the World Series, right? He had to have been. Brett didn't win one.
I'm not sure.
Well, did the Yanks not win that one that Aaron hit? The home run?
No, they lost in
2003.
03.
He must have then.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. Like, I'm going to go with the Boones. I think it's too early for the Vlads. I think Vlad can be on there for sure. That might end up being the 1-1 at some point. It's just way too soon for me to choose Vlad Jr. Way too soon.
I respect that pick. I mean, I feel like my pick was kind of spoiled. I teased it before that I was going to go a Houdini route and take an investment sort of pick, which I won't lie. It was Matt Holliday and Jackson Holliday because I'm a huge Jackson Holliday fan, and Matt Holliday's stats and his career speaks for itself. But since it was spoiled, I will go something a little bit different, but still take that investment option type of pick. I'm going to take Bobby Witt Sr. and Jr. Same deal here. Bobby Witt Sr. was a pitcher. He was by no means some remarkable player, but it's the same thing as that Pat Mahomes sort of thing. He played quite a few years, had a respectable career, and was a former Major League Baseball player. Bobby Witt Jr., on the other hand, is a superstar in the making, in my opinion. He just had himself an MVP season this year. He's probably going to get fourth place in the AL MVP voting. I just think that's going to go completely upwards from here, potentially when he's finally going to get out of Kansas City. I don't see him staying there his whole career. The dude's going to have a great career. This is an investment, people. An investment.
Hell of a ball player.
I'm in shock that Vlad's didn't go.
Yeah, it was the same thing for me,
I think
though.
it's the junior, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Vlad has not lived up to the hype that people said that he is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I just didn't want to go to baseball in that list too. Like I absolutely was looking at Cecil and Prince Fielder, first father son, and maybe the only, I got to look into that, to both hit 50 home runs in a season. So like that's a great one right there. Yeah, they didn't have the longevity, but they made a big impact.
Yeah, I only had two other people that weren't mentioned. I had the Alou family. Not so much like I think remarkable baseball players, but impactful. His father was a fantastic manager. His son was in like one of the most famous plays of all time in left field with the Steve Bartman play against the Cubs and the Marlins. That was the curse of the Cubs and stuff. I mean, they're in baseball history. And then I also had Clay Matthews Jr. and the third. Clay Matthews III was a pretty remarkable player for the Packers, won themselves a Super Bowl. His father was a 4-time Pro Bowler, and Clay Matthews III was 6 times. So,
yeah, the only one we briefly mentioned the fielders. The only other one that I could think of was the Alomars, because I personally love Roberto Alomar. I think that was the greatest infield of all time. Was Vizquel and Alomar. I don't know if I can come up with a better infield up the middle than those two.
Yeah, dirty.
I can.
Go ahead.
2009 Yankees, A-Rod, G, Cano, Teixeira.
No.
Up the middle.
Said up the middle.
You said infield at first.
No, he said up the middle.
I said up the middle, dude. So what, you're going to tell me Jeter and Cano? Because I want to make this...
No, I'm not saying that. You said infield at first, and then I said I could think of a better infield.
Yeah, but I wasn't going over the entire Cleveland Indians roster. But what I'm going to ask you is really simple, and you got to be honest with yourself right here. Was Jeter a plus defender?
No, but I do think that he gets a hard time, people saying that he was an awful defender. I do not agree with that.
I agree with you. I don't think he's a plus defender. I think he's an average, solid defender.
Maybe a tick above, yeah.
But, I'm with you.
I got one more Jedi. I got one that we didn't talk about, and I almost picked here with the 4th pick, Ed and Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey, receiver for the Broncos, 3 or 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons. I think he won 2 Super Bowls with them. And then Christian is a superstar today in the NFL. A little bit of an injury concern, but when healthy, is probably the most electric player in football.
This was definitely a fun draft right here. We probably gonna have to do eventually the best brothers duo. You know, you got the Kelsey brothers there.
There was only one other one. I'm sorry.
Which one?
Pete and Dick Weber.
Pete Weber. But nobody knows Dick Weber, though.
No, but everyone knows Pete.
Dick bowled in his local league.
But Pete was gross.
Pete was, who do you think you are?
I am. All right, sorry. Go ahead. Finish off.
That was all I had. That was our little father-son duo and daughter best in sports drafting. If you did enjoy this, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss our drafting, Mount Rushmore's rankings, everything that we do here. We also cover sports trending news, and we always keep it fun and we always keep it real here. So join us. Join the conversation. Drop a comment below. What's your top 4, your Mount Rushmore of the best father, son, and daughter now duos in sports history? You can find us always at Hot Shots Podcast on all social media platforms. But until then, we will talk to you next time. Always make sure to stay in touch. We'll see you.